I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. Let's continue on to page 28 of the Grade 4 Discovering Music Theory workbook, looking at exercise 7, still continuing in the topic of keys and scales. And so we have some little extracts of music here, and we're asked to circle the notes that would need an accidental to create the melody in the correct key that's been named. And so what we're going to have to do is figure out what the key signature should be, and then wherever that key signature would be applied to one of these notes. And this just shows how much easier it is to just have a key signature. It just kind of does the job for you ever afterwards, doesn't it? Whereas we're going to have to think about how to apply that key signature as appropriate. So the first job is to think, what would the key signature be? So B major would have a key signature of F, C, G, D, A sharps. And now we can go ahead and think about how that would apply. And so here, we're in the bass clef. There is a B. That's not affected. Here we have a D, so that should be sharpened, shouldn't it? And so that would need an accidental. So we circle that. We have an E, that's not affected. But then we have a G, which would be affected. That should have a sharp, so we circle that. We have an F, which should be affected by the key signature. That should be a sharp, so we circle that. The same F again, and we do need a sharp again because the bar line has cancelled what this accidental would be, and so we need to reapply it. And then we have an E, that's not affected, no E sharps. And then here we have a D, that would be sharpened, so that should have a sharp, so we circle that. Now we have a C, which would be sharpened, so we circle that. Then we have an A, which should be sharpened, so we circle that, and there's our final note B, which is not affected because that's the tonic, it's just B major, so it would be B, of course. So if you feel that you can, just do go ahead and try these. I'm hoping that you can just have a go. And so let's look at these together. Now let's just check these through. So D flat major would have a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats, G flats. We're in the treble clef here. Watch your clef so that you get the correct notes. So F, not affected. D, of course, is affected. That's needs to be a D flat, and it's in your key signature. That should be a flat, so we circle that. Here we have an A, which should have a flat next to it, so we circle that. Then we have a note B, which of course should be in the key signature. That should be a flat, so we circle that. C isn't affected by the key signature. D is, of course, it's in the key signature, it should be flat, and of course it's D flat major, so it should be D flat. E flat should be the case here, that should be a flat, so we circle that. F is not affected, but G should be flat, so we circle that. Then we have an F, that's not affected. F, that's not affected. E should be flattened, and of course D should be flattened. Oh, I've put flats there, so instead of adding flats we circle them, don't we? There we go. And so all of those accidentals are now in place, and if you play it without the accidentals, you'll see it sounds terrible. And so now we've highlighted what should be flattened, I'm sure Chopin will be much happier. Sounds terrible if you miss a sharp or a flat. One little semitone really does make a difference, doesn't it? And so now we're in D flat major again, so we know that it's B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats, G flats. Now we're in the alto clef, so I'm not terribly comfortable in this clef. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to name these notes, and you can do that for any clef that you're not comfortable with. So this is a C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Once we started, it's easier to kind of work it from the neck. So up one is C, back to B, C, D, E, back to B. Down one is A, up one is B, down one is A, that's still A, and then down one is G, back to A, back to G, then down one is F. It's easy once you get started, isn't it? Still F, back to G, F, F, G, A, B, back to F. So now I feel I can handle this because, you know, I don't play in this clef, and so it doesn't come naturally to me, so I might as well just take a moment to work it out carefully. And it's best to do that now than sort of have to keep thinking about it, because once you've got going, it's easy sort of adjusting your steps up and down, whereas if you sort of keep forgetting your thinking, it's hard work. So I'd just get that pegged out if that's what you need to do. So now we know that the B should be flattened. C is not. Now here that B should be flattened, however we don't need to circle it because it's already flattened by what would be added here. Remember, an accidental lasts for a whole bar, so we don't need that one either. That's still in play. We don't need that one there, that's still in play. That B flat lasts for all of these note Bs in that pitch. If there was an octave lower, then we'd need to reapply the flat, but we don't in this exact same pitch. So we don't need one there. The E would need to be flattened. The A would need to be flattened. But then, of course, this A does not need another flat sign because the flat that's here is still active. So we don't need it. And actually, we don't need one here either because the tie still holds. However, here we would, but let's get to that in a moment. Now, G, of course, needs to be flattened. Now, we do need to flatten this A because the bar line has cancelled it. That's just carried over because the tie, we now need to reapply that. So, G and F. So the G isn't needed another flat because that's carrying on from there, isn't it? So we don't need to circle that. However, the bar line's cancelled it, so this one would need a flat. F isn't affected by the key signature, but this B would need to be flattened. So that's that one. Quite a bit of thinking in that one. And now we know B major has a key signature of F, C, G, D, A sharps. So if you find it a bit uncomfortable with these ledger lines, let's just prepare for that. So that's middle C, that's a D, E, F, so that's F, G, A, G, back down to F, E, D, C, D, E, F, yeah, that's correct. E, there we go. So if you find it, we might as well do this one. Good boys deserve football, there we go. Why not include that last one? So F should be sharpened. D should be sharpened. F here should be sharpened because the bar line has cancelled it from here, and also it's a different pitch, it's an octave higher. Now A should be sharpened. G should be sharpened. F should be sharpened. It's a new bar. We need to start that again. E isn't affected, but D should be sharpened. F should be sharpened. E isn't affected. So there we go, that's that completed. Let's move on to the challenge now, where we're asked to write out the scales of D flat major and B major. We're going to be going up and down, ascending and descending, writing in the alto clef, and we're asked to use a key signature. And when you're asked to use a key signature, in actual fact, once you've done that, all the hard work's done actually, much easier than when you're asked to add accidentals. And so we know that D flat major has a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats and G flats. And so let's start with D flat major, and let's pop the key signature in first. And this is where you do need a really sharp pencil. That's why I always use a mechanical pencil. It stays pretty sharp that way, because you need to write your key signature quite tall and thin and quite close together, otherwise it all kind of spreads out and takes up way too much room. And so writing in the alto clef, if that's middle C, then B flat is here, the next step down on the space. C, D, E is the second line from the top. C, B, A is the second line from the bottom. D, if that's middle C, D is the space up, and then G, C, B, A, there's our G flat. So that will be D flat major ascending. And so whilst we're thinking of it, let's do the key signature for the next descending version. So B flats, C, D, E flats, C, B, A flats, D flats and G flats. And that's all of the hard work done now. We just need to find our starting note. So if that's C, I'm not going to start on the D above that because I think that'll just give too many ledger lines when we get off the stave. So C, B, A, G, F, E, D is the ledger line. And scale literally means step. So we're just going to be going line, space for an octave. So line, space, stepping up the ladder, line, space, line, space, line, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's middle C, that's D. That's correct. And so that's the note we're going to be starting on to come back down. So we're going to begin space, line, working down in step, space, line, space, line. That's a bit off. Let's do that one again. So the line is a bit more through the middle. Space, line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we've ended back where we started. So that's that one. Now B major has a key signature of F, C, G, D, A sharps. And so let's do that first. Keeping your sharps tall and thin. C, D, E, F is the top space. These first lines are straight. It's these second lines that are a little bit diagonal, making sure the space is in the box or the line goes through the middle of the box. Just like the flats, we need the shape to not overlap into the lines if it's on a space or the line goes through the middle. So F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and then A sharp. Doesn't follow the pattern going in the diagonal, it goes down. C, B, A sharp. Even then when you're trying quite hard, it still takes up quite a bit of room, doesn't it? So C, D, E, I'll do this one as well. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp and A sharp. There we go. So if this is C, one down is B, so there's our starting note, our tonic, and we're just going to go in step. Remember, scale means step, space, line. So every step, every note is allocated. It's represented once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's correct. Line, space, line. Yeah, that's correct. And then, best to be sure, So that's our starting point to come down. We're descending now. Line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're back where we started. And so that's that challenge completed, and that's that page completed. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.